Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use the Bevel tool. So first off, let's open up Maya. You should be able to click on your blocking file in Recents, but if it wasn't there, you can go to your folder. I'll show you the whole thing. Go to your ISO room folder, click on Scenes, and then click on Blocking. That should also open up your file. And of course, let's save as Lesson 3 Bevel. So File, Save Scene As. I'm going to change this to Lesson 3 underscore Bevel. Save As. You should see it appear in your folder. So if it's there, great. Okay, let's get on to it. So what is beveling? First off, I will show you with a cube. So I'm going to go to my poly modeling shelf. It should be these orange pieces of geo. I'm going to isolate the cube. Then make sure your modeling toolkit is open in the right hand corner. So you see that? I guess it's right hand side. Corner, side. I'm going to zoom into my cube. I'm going to click on this edge selection. Click on this edge. And then click on the bevel tool right here. So see this bevel button? So if you highlight over it or hover over it, it gives you a brief description. It expands the selected polygon components into new faces. So that's essentially what it does. Let's see what each one does. So fraction and segment depth, those are the main ones we'll be messing around with. So fraction, segments, and depth. So fraction and segments is how you get that nice, very angular edge. And when you add segments to it, you can round it out. Depth makes it concave in or out. And then fraction just widens the area. Anyway, let's get on to how are we going to adjust our room. So first things first, let's click on one of our shelves. So I want to click on the shelf, and then I clicked on F to frame. So here's my shelf. How can I make it feel more realistic? So I have it selected, then I click on Bevel. Now I want you to experiment with the fraction. You can hold down Shift Option as you select it to help you go through it a little bit faster or slower depending on your settings. So I like it about I want to do 0.1. You might want 0.2, and that's completely fine. I want to bevel each one. Yeah, I like that. If you want to round out those edges to give your shelf a different look, mess with the segments. Now, our picture frame is up next. Now, if you search up a picture frame, you notice that there's a lot of things happening. So picture frames usually have this beveled, sides, and then the frame goes in. So let's do a bevel. I'm going to mess with the fraction. So it has that sides, like a frame. But frames usually have this rectangle in the center. So to get that, we're going to use the other tool that we used in the last lesson, Extrude. We're going to go to the face selection. We're going to click on the front face, then click on the Extrude button. You're going to offset it. And if it's a little dramatic like that, hold down Shift, Control, Shift, Control, make it go slow. I think I might have said Option earlier. It's Shift, Control. So Shift, Control to move it slowly. This is your frame. So whatever size is up to you. Some frames are smaller, well, not that small. Some frames are a bit wider. I want to do about this size so it's easy to see. Okay, next up, now that it's in, I didn't click on anything else yet. Frames usually have this dip. So it's not just a flat frame, it usually concaves in slightly. So I'm going to take this blue arrow and move it in slightly. It's really subtle, but you can see how it goes in just a little bit. Now I'm going to click on the extrude button again, and then extrude this face in. So it's like a picture would go there. See that? Real subtle, but looks more like a frame. I'm going to repeat this for 2 more. If you want to skip ahead and see how to make the side table, you can. Otherwise, extra practice is good. You will have to do all 3 or all 2 of your frames. So I'm going to bevel. I want to play with the fraction. Then I want to select my face, extrude, and change the offset. I want to make this dip in slightly. And then here's another tool, which I'll show for the side table. Click on G to repeat an action. So we just used the extrude tool. I want to click on G to repeat the extrude tool. Then I'm going to bring this in slightly to give that picture frame feel. Great. 1 more to go. Just going to bevel, adjust the fraction, click on my face tool, select the face, extrude to offset, shift control to control it slowly. I'm going to move my blue arrow, and then click on G to repeat an action. So repeat the extrude action. Move that in. Great. Now I've done all 3. Next up, I'm going to show you how to make a whole little table out of this one piece of geometry. I'm going to go ahead and isolate it so that we're not distracted by everything else. I'm going to go to my face mode next, so this face selection. And notice my mouse. You know, I could click on each individual piece of geometry right here, but that takes way too much time. Instead, you're going to hold down Tab and see how my mouse changes. So now it's this kind of circle mouse. By holding down the Tab button, I can click, drag. Now selecting is way easier. Make sure that you have nothing else selected other than the top face. So just like before, we're going to make a column in the middle because we want to have this extruding arm so we can hold like a table. So to change it into like a little circle, we're going to use the extrude tool again and offset. So click on extrude, we're going to offset, hold down shift control, go in the positive direction, which is dragging it to the right, and I'm going to make it about that size. That really just depends on your preference. This is going to be your side table. Now again, to repeat an action, click on the G key. So I'm going to repeat extrude. Notice how this will change to the center. Awesome. I want to use my blue arrow, drag it up. Whoops. I framed my selection by accident. Did not mean to do that. Now that I extrude it up, I want to click on G again to repeat the extrude tool. Change the offset. I'm going to go in the positive direction. Check that out. Now the problem is it's flat. So I need to repeat the extrude tool 1 more time. So G to repeat, and then blue arrow up. Sweet, now I have a side table. When I exit out of isolation mode, and because I went from the ground up, it's already on the floor, looking nice. Now if it's too big, you can just scale it down. Scale it as you need. Yeah, I like that. Sweet. And that's essentially how you use the bevel tool. And a little added bonus, how you can use the repeat tool, or repeat key, which is G. If you have any questions, let me know in class. Oh, and don't forget to save. So Command S, or if you're not sure, go to File, Save Scene. And that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.